Again. Hello, everyone. This is Marie LaBrosse,
And this is Dee Dee Gozion.
and we're here for Kaleidoscope of the Arts. And Dee Dee,
Yeah,
what is today?
it's Valentine's Day.
It is. Are you my sweetheart?
Yes, Marie, I love you.
Oh, well, that's good, huh? Yeah, that we love each other. Yeah, I'm adding in actually on this right now because we're coming on a little bit late, and Facebook is kicks you off. Did you know that, Dee Dee?
No, I've never.
If you don't come in right away within when you scheduled it, it'll kick you off. So what we're gonna
Oh,
do
you on there
is,
now?
yeah, we're just gonna change the times here and
Oh,
get this all started. Yeah, I'll edit it for the radio show. What time are we at? Oh, okay.
got it.
No,
Oops.
I'm really slow right now. I am. I'm. It's just. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, I keep on talking. Let
Okay.
everybody knows what. Tell us what's going on here.
At the Art Center, we have a bunch of stuff going on. Tomorrow is our special big day, Pizza for a Cause. Boca Lupa restaurants, all three restaurants, the Northport location, the Port Charlotte location, and the Welland Park location, are donating a percentage of sales for the day, Tuesday, February 15th. All sales at all three locations, whether it be dine in or carry out, will be donated to the Northport Area Art Guild, which is the Northport Art Center. So we would like to encourage everybody that loves pizza, which is most of you, to go to Boca Lupa's tomorrow and get a menu item. And you don't even have to say anything, it's all sales. So that will be wonderful. If you would like to meet the staff, I will be at the Port Charlotte location. Michele Moore will be at the Northport location, and Karen Forsterio will be at the Welland Park location. And also, the Northport Area Chamber of Commerce will be having their business after hours at the Northport location too. So, what a great crowd there'll be there.
Well, let's talk about that again because I just was able to get some of the Facebook stuff off. There was three sites that wasn't picking us up right now. We'll be Pizza for a Cause. What's tomorrow? February 15th. Where do you want to be? At any Boca Lupas within the area. And where are you going to be, Dee Dee?
Port Charlotte.
Oh, you may not be. You may be
What?
someplace else. We may have you someplace else.
Oh, I'm getting moved.
Yeah, you may get.
Coming for tomorrow.
We're going to have a moving caravan tomorrow. So the Boca Lupas open up at 11 a.m. And one of the great things is every Tuesday, 52 weeks a year, Boca Lupa gives back to the community, to the nonprofits and other organizations like the schools, different booster clubs and football and all that. 52 weeks a year, and they give a percentage of the proceeds to the nonprofit or that organization. And luckily, Pizza for a Cause, thank you, Dennis and David Valentino, who own the Boca Lupas, have chosen the Northport Art Center to be the recipient of tomorrow. And the chamber had to cancel their business after hours because of inclement weather last Tuesday. It was raining out. Who thinks in the middle of winter it's raining here? But anyhow, they moved it to tomorrow at Boca Lupa. And how good is that for us? Because we're the recipients of some of the proceeds that are brought in that day. So if you don't want to go out, call Boca Lupa and go pick up, or I think you can have it delivered by one of the delivery services to have your pizza, and we do get part of those proceeds too. So thank you for that shout out. No, what else is going on at the Northport Art Center before we begin our
On
chat?
the 19th, we have our very first item up for auction on eBay charities. And this item is actually a special item. It's Iman Bisha's bowl that she had made for charity for our Art for Bowls program. Now, we were unable to actually auction it off at our Art for Bowls because COVID interrupted that whole fundraiser. But we did announce when Iman was singing at our last fundraiser, Kaleidoscope of the Arts event that we had had at the plantation, that we would be putting it up for auction. And we had set up an eBay for Charities auction site that we will the first one will be Iman's bowl, and hopefully we'll have other pieces of art to auction off in the future on this same site to raise money for the art center. But Iman's bowl will be available for starting auction on the 19th, midnight on the 19th, and it will go through the 28th midnight. So for 10 days it'll be up for auction.
Oh, so interesting. And who is Imam Bisha?
The young lady that was a student here at the Northport Art Center. She was a student at the Rock Box, and she happens to be a famous young lady that had won Arab Got Talent, and she was one of the finalists in America's Got Talent also.
Yeah, she's a young opera singer. If you've never heard her sing, if you get the opportunity, and I don't want to give it out, but she is going to be performing at the Northport High School, Northport Performing Arts. And it's not up to us to say who she's performing with, because that's up to them. They're kind of keeping it secret. So, they haven't announced who the person is yet. They have two people performing with one of the organizations that performed at the Kaleidoscope of the Arts.
Okay, and also, if everybody would go to learn more about our auction, it's on the front page of our website, northportartcenter.org, and the whole story of Iman and the bull, and a link to the eBay auction will be on our website, so nobody has to search. They just have to go on our website, click on that, and find more information. And
I'll,
video.
I'll put that information up right after we mention who our sponsor is right now.
Okay.
And our sponsor for this radio show is NAMAC Portfolio Investment Professionals, LLC. And where do you go to actually find out from Wendy NAMAC? NAMAC.com. And her phone number is 941-429-2911, and Wendy at NAMAC.com. Without sponsors for our radio shows, we wouldn't be able to exist because we're an all-volunteer nonprofit. And Dee Dee,
yes.
I know that I'm lingering here talking about things, but I just got through teching John Rawlings' show. And one of our major sponsors that we have for Kaleidoscope of the Arts came on at the end, Greg Ormandy from Somerville Financial Services, but with Raymond James. He is doing a segment, and it's some of the stuff that I learned already from him, just a little brief thing about how to donate money to nonprofits to get the most tax dollars for you. And then also for nonprofits, how to actually get donors to give to your organization. So John and I and Greg are going to sit down and work out a workshop to teach people how to do this. And I know I'm tired. Wendy is our sponsor here, but he does a little bit different. He kind of specializes in this portion of it. And I learned things from him about bunching, about a tax way of getting a lot more money when you're giving like a 10,000 and you give to all these organizations, but you lump it together and comes out to 10,000. There's a way to do your taxes so you get really a lot of benefit. And I imagine a lot of those people that get all those big tax benefits know that, but the ones that don't know, like me, and I've been, helping nonprofits for most of my adult life, about 50 years, I didn't know about this stuff. And I said, we need to get educated out here on, when people give. No, and there's a couple of more things that I want to bring up. We have Mary Poppins
Yeah.
performed at the Northport High School, a high school performing arts studio on April 8th, 9th at 7 p.m. and April 10th at 3 p.m. And I will be at one of those performances, and I hope the rest of you will be also. And then we have, and Dee Dee and I are going to try to start doing this where we announce things that are coming up in the arts just over the next, today is the 14th, right?
Okay. Yes, Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, Seasons of the Stars, and if you guys don't know about Seasons of the Stars, they have a series that happened at the Northport Performing Arts Theater, and they have, let me see here, they have the Best of Broadway. That's on 220, and general fee is $22, and then the Northport Performing Art Association band concert, their concert band is on 220, and their symphony is also on 227. In the Season of the Stars, Best of Broadway is February 23rd. So those are going on the end of this month.
And they're all at the Northport Performing Arts Center?
Yeah, all of them are at the Northport Performing Arts Center. So for those tickets, you can call 941-423-8558 for any of those tickets. And let's start supporting the arts in the area all the way together. If you see the Rock Box, you see Common Grounds, you see the Northport Performing Arts Center having different performances. If you see the visual arts at the Northport, what are we, the Art Center? Yes.
We got 2 receptions coming up next week.
Oh, and let's talk about those, Dee Dee.
We have the first reception will be the day after President's Day. It'll be the 22nd of February at Welland Park Welcome Center. It will start at 6 p.m. And at that event, we will be honoring the artists of Dar Kramer, Karen Foresterio, and on the card is Kay Shook, and they have beautiful art all on display. And we also will be having the recipients of the dollar amounts. We've invited the people that had helped us put on the Kaleidoscope of the Art program, that we have some checks to hand out that night also.
Right. And also I've invited all the sponsors for our event to come to that. I sent them a personal invite. So hopefully you'll get to meet some of the people that actually are givers within the community and that help support the arts within the community.
And then we have another reception that will be on the 25th of February here at the Northport Art Center. It's the reception for Things That Fly will be the theme of the show. And I want to remind everybody that all of our receptions that we have for the community is free and everybody's invited. So we'd love to have you come and share with us, thanking artists for their work and viewing the beautiful work that they produce.
And if you ever want to be a sponsor for any of these events, just reach out to you can reach out to us on the show even, and reach out to us and we can send you what it takes to be a sponsor, which is very little, and how you can help and get recognized and actually get a little bit of speaking time and getting to bring your information. And also, we may as well announce that we're having a wearable fashion show April 3rd at Heron Creek. Tickets will be going on sale probably this week. I'll be working in the background getting all that ready. So just be watching out for that because it's going to be Helen Giroux. We had her on the show, and Michelle did it with me last week. She's a fashionista, man. She is Paris Runway, and she's going to do the clothing will be wearable stuff for us around here because we're in such a relaxed atmosphere. You probably wouldn't be wearing that evening gown, but her gowns and her clothing is just amazing, amazing. So let's bring on. Are we done here?
Yes, we've announced our announcements. All this stuff's going on next week. That's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Things except for the art fashion.
But I don't want people to forget Pizza for a Cause. Pizza for a Cause. Tuesday, February 15th. And when this airs on the radio, it's going to be too late. But remember, any Tuesday, you go to Boca Lupa. Part of that money that you're spending there is going to go to a nonprofit. So thank you, Boca Lupa and the Valentinos. Okay, let's bring on that crazy woman in the background working with the puppet in her hand. And she has her. Oh, yeah. And the Moores are in the room. Oh, look at that. She had her hand because they were, it's the story of these two lovely people that we really would like to actually highlight today. Wow. We want to, with today being Valentine's Day. Yeah, I don't know.
I have my heart. I love you.
I love you. And you have bones. I love you too.
Does this shirt make me look skinny?
Yeah. For making you look skinny.
This shirt makes me look skinny. I'm all bones, skin and bones.
Yeah. I got it. No, I didn't get that before. One of the things I want to talk with you too about. I got to make sure I have it.
You got to introduce us. You didn't even introduce us.
Oh, you know what?
Because I introduced you for the first time together on the radio.
Let us introduce you, okay? I'm going to start with the woman that a lot of people know, okay? Michele Moore. Now, Michele, also known as Peaches, the DJ crowd. Okay. Michele, what was your maiden name?
Oh, Quiñones. Something that no one can pronounce.
So
Moore really works.
Well, I can say more. more.
Yeah, Moore really works.
So a lot of people, when they knew you as Peaches, that's what they knew you as.
Yes, Peaches is a nickname that I used. However, when I was in banking, I didn't use it because that wasn't too kosher, I guess. And so that's why we fell out of it. But there's a lot of people who still call me Peaches. And
right. So that was your nickname.
Yes.
No, yeah. Before we even get into Phillip, let's talk a little bit background of you. Michele, you're originally from Miami, or you grew up. I mean, you were born.
No, I'm originally from Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm getting back feed. Let me see if that's coming off.
It's coming from you because we don't hear anything.
Okay, it's coming up. Oh, okay.
You could check it out.
Okay, yeah, I don't care about that. I care about the people. Dee Dee's messing with me. I'm muting her to see if it's coming off her computer.
She will blame everyone but herself.
No, sometimes I get back feed, especially if computers are close to each other. Anyhow, when you came over to this side, because you're from Miami, how did you end up over in the west coast of Florida?
Oh, yeah, west side. So we came out west side. We were over here. I came back. Dee Dee's dying back there. In 2005, actually, I was recruited by PGT. I was in the fenestration, glass and glazing industry, and I actually sold their windows out of a distributor out of Miami for probably 14 years. So I was well versed in PGT lingo. So I got recruited over here. And then shortly after, we had the economic downfall. So I went from glass and glazing to actually power tools. And I was the pro sales specialist for Black & Decker and DeWalt for the entire state of Florida. And then within a year, again, that didn't pan out too much because all the construction stopped. And I found myself needing employment, and I had a very good friend who owned a bar, and I had DJ software just to download music and disco music that I love so much, and breakdancing music, and just it went from goodness doing a free spot for 20 minutes and actually being very scared. Stage fright was something. I got off the stage and ran home, to actually DJing at a 15,000 square foot venue in Bradenton, and I was the house DJ there for a minute before, and while I was doing the banking thing. So I just retired from 10 years of banking. So that's how long ago it was. It was a while back. I'm tired of telling you about it.
Yeah, I got tired listening to it.
I know it. I know, right? Because all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. Right?
Yeah,
you look at the clock. It's like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It's time to go
And
home.
I'm drinking, but it's iced tea.
Yeah.
So
Last call. That's a Long Island iced tea that you got there. I know it is.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you, I can only have one of those and I'm done. That's it. I can't drink those.
If I smell it on your breath, I'm done.
So, and then and we'll get into the bones you started before Phillip.
No, I started that with, there would be no bones.
Oh, okay. We're not going to talk about that until we do the Phillip thing. Okay. Okay. So, Phillip, now it's your turn. Let's go into your history. Okay, where are you originally from, Phillip?
Well, I went to school in Central Illinois, graduated high school in Central Illinois, went to the Army and was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas, did a few tours in Iraq, came out, got home safe, got out of the Army, moved to Florida in 2014 after getting a college education at Parkland College in Illinois. Dabbled in the fine arts there a little bit.
We've been together that long?
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
2014, when I moved here, the first thing of business I needed to do was open an account at a bank. And so she lived 2 blocks away from where my father lived. And so he said, well, you got to meet this spitfire of a gal over at the bank. Her name's Michele. You know, we laugh and talk and whatever all the time. So we go in there and it's her day off. And so he said, we'll come back tomorrow. No big deal. I said, yeah, no big, it's 2 blocks. So she jumped out of the front door when I went there, and she completely startled me, having no idea that I was traumatized with PTSD.
I could have lost my life.
And when I was sitting down at her desk opening an account, she, I was white knuckling the chair, and she said, "Oh, you served, huh? So are you? Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not." So, but she had mentioned that she was a fisherman, and I told her that I wanted to work with animals, and so she failed to give me some contact information for the Venice.
Venice
Wildlife
you
Center.
want to work with animals.
So I wanted to work with animals when I got down here, but so I volunteered at the Venice Wildlife Center, but she failed to give me that contact information. So that was my in to at least email her and say, hey, I need this number. By the way, let's hang out sometime. So
there was no intent. There was none, actually. We hung out and went fishing. My mom was the one that asked me what was going on between us. And I said nothing. And then she says, well, he's very cute. I said, he's all right. And so she said, you hold on to that one. He's the one. And here we are. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, okay, so I got to get into the nitty gritty because we can do this on this show. We are, and
Cool.
Dee Dee, if you want to talk, unmute yourself.
No, don't mute her. I like to hear her laughing.
Well, I like to, but I was getting back feed. Okay, we'll see if it's still there.
Is it feedback or back feed?
Feedback is if I give you a response to something I heard, but back feed is I'm getting it coming back. I don't think it's there anymore. No, it's not there anymore. So thank you for that. No, Phillip, I know that you're trying to hide on me, but we're going to get down to the nitty gritty here. So as you're going out and fishing and doing other things, was there sparks in the beginning? Like the first time, there were sparks coming out of the gun that was coming out of your mind when she jumped in front of you with PTSD. I mean, because that could have ruined that relationship right there.
No, the way that she approached the situation, it was very down to earth. It was very relatable. I knew that she was somebody to talk to, and she helped out tremendously in the beginning. We hung out and we fished a little bit, and of course there were sparks in the beginning. I remember the first trail that we went on, and we went out to the Myakkahatchee, of all places. We went out to the Myakkahatchee Creek for a walk, and we were under the complete cover of canopy. And as we embraced and had a kiss, there's a giant beam of sunlight just blasts us both right in the face. So after that, we pretty much knew that was what it was supposed to happen.
True story. He made it very short, and he told it like a dude. Us women would add flowers to it and stuff like that. We were walking, holding hands, and he was showing me the birds were chirping, right? And he was showing me all the native plants and animal tracks, and so we embraced.
You went running through the field of flowers towards
and my hair came undone, and when we looked through the canopy lights, it was that's how I tell the story.
As he embraced you, we are on kind of PG and stuff because then we go into more detail, but
keep it PG-13.
PG-13. So, and that was soon in the relationship.
We would hike and go fishing a lot. My outdoor activities was fishing. Now, before I met Phil, that's why I moved here. I settled on this area because of the fishing, and I was an avid fisherman. Phil added to the pot as far as camping and hiking, and I just became a natural at it. So he took me to Tennessee, actually, because we hike pieces of the Appalachian Trail when we can. And he started me off, with small trails where a few years back, we were able to hike actually half of the Great Smoky Mountains from Clingman's Dome to Fontana Dam. So we did that in 5 days. It was about 40 miles. And we literally walked into North Carolina from Tennessee. So having to divert and everything and sleep in the shelters and
filter our own water.
Yeah, and bathe out there and, the whole nine, man. Like, it was great. We're trying to get the other half done so we can say we did the whole park.
Yeah.
But
and that's memorable things. Those are priceless.
Yes.
Now, I was going to say the first time that we did that, our first time out to the mountains when we hiked, we didn't do a through hike. We stayed the night out there a few nights, whatever. But she had no qualms with it. She loved every bit of it, and she didn't complain at all. She never made a complaint about anything, about being in the woods and being dirty or anything like that.
I was 42 when we started doing that, so it's not that I was young and vivacious by any means. So it's something that was life-changing. It really is. It's life-changing when you can do something like that.
And we got married out there. We got married in the Smoky Mountains.
Oh, well, let's move forward and
fast forward.
Fast forward.
Well, how long did you guys date? As she gets control of her.
As we fast forward, we've been living together for a while. She decided to join the art center.
Louise Hall actually found me at the bank. Louise Hall, one of our founding mothers. You can find her story at www.northportartcenter.org under our story. And she found me at the bank and told me, you need to come and see Dee Dee. And so I did. And the rest is history. 3 years later, I have sat on the board of directors. And now I am, since it's going to be a year in April. Can you believe it?
Wow.
On April Fool's Day was my first day of employment. And now I have like several name tags, but right now I hold the position of Community Relations and Branding Manager for the Northport Arts Center. So very proud to work for the Northport Arts Center.
No.
And then he joined.
And he has the art of war. But let's go back before you even did that. Because when did you start doing your artwork with the bones?
Well, I rolled up one day at home and Philip was skinning a boar skull in the front yard. And I was completely appalled, but understood. And I wanted to look up different ways to help him clean these bones, because it was like a natural history museum kind of vibe going, and I really like that stuff. And naturally I would run into bones and different things when you're out fishing and hiking and stuff. You run into all this stuff while you're looking for just wood for a fire. So very naturally, I got online. I started to look for ways to clean it. I already did jewelry out of rocks and beads like everyone else, but had to hang that up during the economic decline. And then saw some earrings from a pair of from bones I recognized, and cleaned them up and started making Christmas presents, actually, because I like to make Christmas presents. I don't like to buy Christmas presents. So that's all turned in, well and all, just something to do. And my mom passed away right about a month before we got married. And there was a young lady that was actually selling our stuff out of Gainesville. And we picked that up and we came home with it. And here we are about 5 years later. I built a bone empire. So we went from having just a few bins of stuff to, heck, I've got over 50 buckets to process right now.
18 or 20 trays.
18 or 20 full trays, and that's usually in the 30 mark. So
it's different processing stations around our house that has taken over to the point where I had to get rid of my drum set and my music room in order for her to have an office. And I couldn't be happier about it. She is really just embracing this whole thing and taking it in by the reins and running with it. And the sky's the limit. And it's we've never been. Stuff. And at first she was a little apprehensive about it. She didn't think that it would be so embraced by the community and by the art world. And it's very unique. It's really unique.
Well, making products out of bones, it's repurposing.
Well, I've changed nothing.
Yeah.
If you think about it, man's first tools were bones, and their first pieces of adornment were bones. And that's how they differentiated their tribes, by the different bones, or use them as talismans or offerings to the gods and so forth. So I've done really nothing new. I just, I brought it back from the old school, from the real old school.
Paleo, instead of eating paleo, you went back to the paleo.
Yes, we should make a song. We can do a rap song, Marie, talk about bringing back from the paleo.
Bring it back, bring it way back.
Look at that, Marie's getting grungy, man.
Yeah. So you ended up getting married what year?
2017.
Yeah, we'll be 5 years. It'll be 5 years in April.
Okay.
We'll celebrate 5 years to married. We were 3 years together, so 8 years. 8 years.
8 years. So, and you're still going strong. Actually, the passion is there.
Yes, we're having a very good time. We're living our best lives, and so the art thing really enhanced the relationship. Yeah. So he had gone to Parkland College when he left the Army. So tell us a little bit about talk about that, Phil.
Well, I went to Parkland College to be a graphic designer, and so I got through all of the history. I got through modern art history, graphic design history, oil painting, sketching, drawing, different things like that. I even did typography, and that was just a bore. Good for them. Hey, hallelujah. How they define letters, but it was such a bore. So when I got to all the computer stuff, the computer generation and all of these different things, it was really hurting my eyes. It was really hard to sit in front of a computer for hours on end, just having to do all of this information online. So I had to utilize some of these credits I've already had under my belt somehow, some way, for a general studies degree. So I'm like, great, I can finish college just taking a lot of fun classes. I'll take chemistry and archaeology and all these very interesting things that wasn't part of a broad design, structure. So I had the fine arts, ever since I could remember. I took creative writing when I was in first grade summer class. And that's as far back as I can remember. So the whole painting thing, I hadn't touched it since then. I hadn't really done anything with it. I built a couple tube instruments, but before becoming a member of the Art Center, I didn't really do a whole lot with it. I never really expressed myself with it at all.
So he quite literally would wait for me in the parking lot, as you can imagine, and Dee Dee can remember, because of the social anxieties from PTSD. Well, lo and behold, we quit smoking. It'll be 2 years, July 13th, and we were saving money, and there was an evening pastel class, and I got my pastel taste of pastel with the round robin from the Left Coast Painters, the LCPPS. Let's just put it that way. The Left Coast Pastel Painters, right, Miss Society. And I got a little taste of that pastel, honey. And once you've got that little chop in your hand, that's a lot of instant gratification, a lot of instant color there. So I loved it. And so we started to take classes together at night as a date night. And, especially during COVID, something to do once a week and then have dinner afterwards. And got with it with the pastel. So he learned that he should be painting from his own reference photos, and that is how the Art of War was born.
And the Art of War, just to tell our audience, you can go to the website too, and I can bring up all this stuff as we go along. But before we do that, I have somebody that wants to say hello to you.
Oh, yeah?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Something's wrong with my voice. I can't get it together today. We are so happy to be here on your show for Valentine's Day, but we're at an International House of Pancakes convention, and we can't be there, but Stacks and I met at the Northport Art Center. Yeah, we met at the Northport Art Center, and today is Valentine's Day, and we're just so happy to be on the show. He doesn't know what to say. He's so touched. We want to thank you so much for having us on your show. We are sorry we could not be there. Yeah, we gotta go. Bye.
Oh, so those are those for of you who did not know that we have a puppet studio in Northport. Yes. Kahula Animation Studios is located near here, actually, right behind the Old World. So you probably pass by and go, what is that? Well, they are a puppet building studio. And we are so lucky to have had the chance to make our puppets. So that was Stacks and Hotcakes. And so on February 24th, it's your chance, Northport, and to make your next puppets. Our next puppet class is February 24th, and we'll follow 3 weeks of building, 1 day a week for 2 hours. So if you want to register for that class, which you should because seats are limited, call us at the Art Center or register online.
Very good. And one of the things when you guys did take that class, I don't know if I can do that class. And you know why?
Are you scared of puppets?
No, I'm not scared of puppets. I would have to do work. And because you have to do some sewing, right? You have to do.
I could just see you scared of puppets, and you have to run and hide and stuff. You don't want. Oh, look, it's Hotcake. She's back. She's back. Oh, she just didn't want to miss it with Miss Marie LaBrosse. You're so lovely to see you.
You know what? And I probably should do it, but I promised my one girlfriend that does sewing, I said, I want you to take that class and I'll pay for you to take that class because
if you don't take the class, we're going to have problems. All right. You need to sign up for it.
The thing is though, she would have me out in the hallway. I would be out in the hallway because I'm not finishing my project. Right?
Oh yeah. We had Kevin didn't finish his puppet.
We had one. We had a non-graduator.
Yes.
We did. That was making it up with GED.
But I got to tell you, it was the funnest class anybody could ever take because we laughed almost the whole time. It was a great class. What do you do, Michele?
I'm Philip's eye. Right there.
There we go. I wanted to put this up on the screen here for people. For more information about any of the things that we're talking about, you can go to the Northport Art Center, www.northportartcenter.org. Here's their phone number, 941-36460, and you can reach out. Dee Dee, it all comes to you, huh? MPAC.
Well, that's the main email, and yes, I'm the one who opens the main email. I would forward it if it had to be in a specific person.
Kill me now if all the emails were coming to me. You'd never.
She screens them all. She screens them all for us. That's her. You know, make sure we're not getting any spam.
Oh, okay. So
Actually, we're pretty
Well,
lucky up to this point.
yeah. Now, Philip, let's talk about these bones things because you were skinning. That's how you guys got started into doing the bone stuff.
Well, she was the one who was doing all the research as far as the jewelry and what to look for and how to find the bones. A friend of mine had just a glass case with skulls in it, like exhibit skulls. Yeah. So when I had to collect a wild boar, I thought that would be something to do, and it's not something for me. she's the one that really gets into it for sure.
So it was mostly me and my brilliant. I was brilliant. Okay, it has changed. It's morphed. I mean, from where we began and how that was done to what we have now, it's a completely different operation. But it being featured on Harbor Style, on the cover of Harbor Style magazine, or being featured in Gasparilla magazine, the newspapers, and then Welland Park Welcome Center really takes us to another level here, where we're representing osteo art in a higher level. So taking it, the art route was definitely the way to go. I'm really excited about where it's going, and I'd like to see where I'm at in 5 years from now. We just want to share this wonderful, sustainable, natural product with the world. It is incredibly interesting. It is for careers. It can open and broaden so many careers. Think about natural history museum curators or doctors, veterinarians, dentists, archaeologists, biologists, osteologists. So we do presentations for the city, for youth groups. We do presentations for free about fossils and modern bones. If that's something you're interested in, give me a call or check us out at boneboutique.biz, and you can check out our presentation page. And we just want to share something that is just so creative with everyone. And I curate everything so that it's reasonable enough for everyone to own. I'm still the queen of the $10 earring.
Yeah, and let's show Dee Dee. We'll show Dee Dee, and she can show.
Well, Dee Dee, I will explain. Dee Dee is wearing the very latest in osteo jewelry. She has the pizzotil bone or osseous, which is from the wild boar, couples, cluster earring, set with 925 sterling beads and finding. Thank you, Dee Dee. Dee Dee has the largest collection of bone jewelry of anyone in Northport, probably followed by a close second, I think, Yvonne Kimmick. But she does get to shop in my trunk very often. So that's something else that makes it all very interesting, is that I have a store in my trunk, and I have a show coming up on the 26th in Punta Gorda, right behind the farmers market at 217 Sullivan Street, in between Olympia and Marion. My friend Tammy lets me loiter in her parking lot. So again, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. And when you're talking about that, your trunk, you're the first business at the city of Northport you went and solicited.
Yes, I am the city's first peddler.
Yeah, and she peddles her wares out of her trunk.
Yes.
And it's so interesting, though, Michele, because people trust you, when you're talking with people. A lot of people know who you are within the community. And when you say Michele Moore, everybody lights up. I mean, they really do. They light up and get excited that Michele's going to be there. And Philip. Now, Philip, a lot of people know you as Michele's husband, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people that know Michele knows me as her husband.
Yeah, that's how my husband's known too. Oh, that's Marie's husband. Let's talk about your art of war a little bit, and I'm going to bring it up on the website.
Okay.
And I want you to explain to people. Let's see if we can bring this up here and explain to people about how you came up with this idea, because talking about two guys, and that's, I'm talking about you too, Michelle. You're a guy to me too. You know, I call everybody.
No,
I'm from
I am
Minnesota.
not.
No, I'm from Minnesota, so we all say, "Hey, you guys!"
Hey,
That
guys.
makes the whole room. But as you can see here on the screen, do I have it up on your screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on your screen. I can actually, we can look at it better. They put a new way for us to look at
Oh,
Ooh,
it. Ooh.
that's a nice picture, Philip.
Yeah. No,
Nice.
Philip, I want to explain to the audience too. You're not only taking, you're colorblind, and you're taking photos that you had taken over in Iraq, and you tell stories about them on the side of this calendar. But also, you're a fabulous writer. Have you ever thought about writing writing a novel?
I've not thought about writing a novel. I thought about maybe writing a poem for one of the pieces in a show that we have here, maybe coming up in the future. But I do like to utilize my writing because it's something that I took a little more studying in college for. I remember that no matter what happened after college, no matter where I went, if I could communicate effectively, no matter what job I had or where I was, then I would be all right. I could, at least make, requests or explain things in a manner. So it's been a joy to be able to write. I do enjoy writing. I do like sitting and pondering and wondering about one specific key word of all the different words that are synonymous with each other. What's the one particular word that's going to be moving the most, I guess. Maybe in the future. Now, Michelle always asks me when she's writing something, and that's definitely fun, just because I can see that she's actually starting to write very well. So we make a good team. As far as the writing for the calendar goes and the website, it was pretty much a team effort. I will not read something out loud without asking her how it sounds, and vice versa.
Teamwork.
As people that are able to watch this, because this is being streamed on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right now, you can see some of these pictures that are on the calendar that Philip had taken and then made into artwork. Tell us a little bit of the story, because I was looking at my calendar today as I'm turning around and grabbing it, because I was telling my husband, I said, I never sat down and really read the stories that you had with the calendar because I've been busy, and I'm looking around me. It's behind me on here. But every one of these pictures have a story with it in the calendar and what they mean to you, and where like it said, the gunner was on the tank, and it would have an obstructed view sometimes, was the same thing that was going to be protecting them. And I found that really interesting. I'm a history buff, so when I'm looking at and I'm reading words, even when I was reading any of your writing, and that's why you would make a wonderful author. And I think that's, a lot of times people don't come into that element till later in life, when they find their passions, even with the art work, and that they find it at a later time. And because of some of the things that I know of you, and that I think you would make a fabulous writer.
I agree.
And I think you could take your bone boutique, and people like stories about the Indiana Jones and the archaeological things, and then throw a twist into it. And you're a very good author, and you heard it here, folks. I think that's where you should go, because you can have that and sell the rights to make movies and TV, and that. I know somebody right now that's going through that process, and they'll be having a series coming up on Netflix of something that he had created from his own books that are so. Just throwing that out there for you.
I would love to write a book about the transition from military life to civilian life. I would love to write insider's perspective on how difficult it really is and the processes of it all, and how they're supposed to just expect us to flip back to normal.
When you're doing some of that, and here we're talking on air, but when you're looking at that, that would be a book that would be to a specific audience who would read that. The other one, it depends, and this is where money comes in, and where movies and all that, the commercial, you always have to think of the commercial, depending, and that's where, like with the Bone Boutique, when you were looking at it and you're looking at the commercial aspect of it, you probably first started out with, will this work? And then it became your business. And so, not that that's what you do for a living. How much time do you guys spend on working on all that?
I only work here part-time. I work for myself full-time. So I put more hours than you can possibly calculate into my business.
We both get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And
if I don't do it,
right
then
away.
No one's going to do it if I don't do it. And if someone else does it, then it's not art. It's not mine. If I can't mass produce it, it takes time. It takes over a year to curate a specimen. So, let's say raccoon you pick up today, it'll be 2023 by the time I get anything out of it. So it is a very slow process. Nothing is bulked out. So nothing is mass produced. Everything is done one by one hole at a time, one bone at a time. So every single bone that is on my website and available to you has been loved and touched by me or film. So yes, and cared for, because it takes a very, very special bone to make it onto your ears. Right?
Well, yeah. How about into your heart? What has made your relationship last, do you think?
We no matter how bad it is, you just talk about it, keep it on the table. No matter how uncomfortable it's going to make you feel, you've got to be very open. There has to be a big open line of communication and a high threshold for pain. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, your personalities are a little bit different than each other.
A lot different than each other. Yeah. So that's what works.
It's good to say it.
That's what, we're polar opposites. We come from completely different cultures. Also, I come from a Puerto Rican background, a Hispanic background. It's completely different, our cultures. Than he's from Illinois.
I'm cornbread.
So, we do have those differences, but of course it grows our relationship. How else? So understanding, I guess, again, a high threshold for pain. Same thing.
As long as it all boils down to we love each other, and that's why we do what we do.
How about trust? Trust has to be.
Before her mom passed, she gave me everything. She said, "It's all Phillips. It's all Phillips." So
to share with Michele.
So when I work and I get a paycheck, it goes straight to her. She takes care of me. She buys everything that I need, everything that I want. So why would I put my money anywhere else? I trust her with everything that I got.
I'm glad you said that, Philip, because I know people, we do the same thing within our household, but I have a sister, her and her husband did never commingle their money. They each paid apart. And I'm going, why do you do that? Well, his was a trust thing from a previous marriage and stuff. So, even though they've been married 30, 40 years, you never know. But one of the things too, trust. Philip, you guys do all your things together too, don't you? Pretty much. I mean, Michele goes and does her thing, but when you guys go to do an activity, you go like with the guys too sometimes, right?
No. I mean, pretty much the whole time that I've lived here, the 8 years that I've lived here, I've had the same job. Okay, I know very few people that I can go see regularly as a buddy, something like that. We don't have friends that we spend regular time with to go to game nights with other couples or anything like that. They can't hang with us. I mean, we're out digging.
No, by 8:30 at night we're asleep. But any artist will tell you an artist's life is a lonely life. We have to art. alone. So what happens is you don't get to hang out like that because then you're not making. I don't have little fairies that come and make this stuff. I have to. So the hours that we spend in our studio, which is in our home, where we're at least in one place together,
and we enjoy each other's company. I mean, really, if we're going to do something, something like that, of course we're going to want to do it together because we're buddies. We make each other laugh and we chum it up.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's one of the messages that I want to send out to the people, for Valentine's Day or for any day of the year, to have that trust and have that and to laugh. If your relationship isn't where you're having fun, that's your best friend that you're with. Mm-hmm. And I can say this about me and my husband. We may not have the same ideas or the same whatever, but when we go any place or if I laugh, that man can make me laugh. I'm sorry, Philip. He can make me laugh. And Dee Dee, I know that like you always get frustrated with some of the things that no matter whether it's your husband or anybody does, because it's not you or you have a better way of doing things or that. But at the end of the day, which a lot of people hate that saying, but at the end of the day, when you go to bed at night, that you don't go to bed mad. That when you're in bed, that's a safety haven for you.
Absolutely, Marie. Absolutely. And the humor part is the key.
If you can
find humor in anything, that makes the whole world is better.
Right. And you don't need to have all the money in the world. The money does not make you happy. It's the person that you're with or sharing.
But if you buy a Mercedes, that's going to make me happy, okay? Just saying, I can buy a Mercedes. That's going to make me happy.
Michelle, does a Mercedes make you happy or does the car runs make you happy?
No, I need a car with a good trunk is what you can take that any way you like. It's either for a specimen or my store.
We fit a lot of bones in there.
Yeah. You really gotta watch what you ask someone who deals in death. You have to really ask. So, I know how to get rid of a body. If you think about it, okay. I will make you into a pair of earrings. So you have to think about what you ask me to make sure that it doesn't get pulled out of context here.
Right. So thank you, Philip. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Michelle.
Well, I was going to call you Peaches.
I thought you were thinking of what my name means in Klingon because I heard you going.
Yeah, I do that one. I was looking for peaches.
You like that one, don't you? Like that?
I do. I think we should all be calling you peaches. This is Marie LaBrosse and
Dee Dee Gozion
and Michele Moore. I'm on location.
Phillip Moore. And you're listening to us on WKDW 97.5 FM Rural Community Radio. We're coming out of Northport, Florida. And for any of you listening, if you ever want to do any artwork, in fact, I need to throw my party together eventually. Right?
Listen, there's free art parties, people. You just sign up for join the email list. Go to the Art Center's website and hit that join email list. Find out what's going on. We got so much going on that a whole hour of this show, we can't possibly tell you what's going on. Okay? You got to come and find out. This is the best place to be. This is better than Epcot. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Dee Dee, what are you holding up there?
We just did an art party this last weekend, and everybody came for a free art party. And
where was I?
I was checking a radio show.
You know what? I really haven't been. I would have loved to have done that picture.
And we got another one coming up. We'll talk about it next week.
Hey, listen, Marie, we can interview you. I can interview you instead. You're on location with Michele Moore.
Oh, there we go. Well, it's been a pleasure with you guys. I have to do a lot of editing in the show. We went over about 10 minutes, so that's okay. That's okay.
It's all good.
Make me look skinny. Make me look skinny on the radio.
We will do that. Thank you, guys. See you again next time on Kaleidoscope of the Arts, and please be kind.
More pizza.